Hi, this is Miss Leisure, once again, your wonderful geometry teacher. And today we're talking about quadrilaterals and parallelograms. So I informed you during class what page you're going to be taking notes on, and we prepped your foldable. So you need to have all that stuff available to take notes on. Make sure the title says quadrilaterals, parallelograms. We're going to be working on these two objectives today. Recognizing and applying the properties of sides and angles, and also recognizing and applying the sides and angles of diagonals. This is the one that a lot of kids have trouble with, but you're going to master it. I know it. Okay, so here's the definition of quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides, 4 vertices, and 4 angles. Make sure you have this written down in your notes, please. All right, here's something else you need to have in your notes. Consecutive sides. Exactly what is a consecutive side? Well, consecutive sides are sides that are right next to each other, like the MH here and the MA. They touch. They actually come in and intersect. Those are consecutive sides, as well as the HT and the TA. Those are consecutive sides. Non-consecutive sides would be like the MH and the AT. They're opposites of each other. They're across from each other. They don't touch. Non-consecutive sides are sides that do not touch. Okay? Sometimes we can also use consecutive with vertices and angles as well. They'll talk about the angles being adjacent. That means the same thing as consecutive. All right? Diagonals. The diagonal comes from a vertex across the shape to another vertex. Not to a vertex next to it where T is here, but across the shape. Okay? So a diagonal joins non-consecutive vertices of a quadrilateral. H and A are non-consecutive vertices. So HA is a diagonal. Okay? Today, we're going to talk about special quadrilaterals. We're going to be talking about parallelograms today. There's also rectangles, rhombuses, and squares. We'll talk about those in the next class. And trapezoids, isosceles, trapezoids, and kites that we'll also group together and talk about in another class. You need to know the names of the special quadrilaterals, but we'll be talking about them, so I'm sure you'll get them. Oops, back it up just a little bit. And we're going to go one forward. There we go. Okay, this table or chart, I will give you a copy of it, so don't make a copy of this, okay? I'll make a copy of this. But I want to show you how it works. It's pretty cool. I'd never seen this before. This is a really good table. So let's say we have this shape. I got to figure out how to get it to play. There we go. Okay, you can see that the shape has parallel lines from the angles. And you can also see it has, let's see, the parallel lines are the arrows on both sides, top and bottom, left and right. And you can also see the purple lines that show us that these two sides are congruent, and the top one and the bottom one are congruent, okay? So let's talk about where we start on this map. We're going to start here in the pink. How many pairs of parallel sides? Do you have 0, 1, or 2 pairs? We have 2 pairs. So we're going to follow this one over here. Are the 4 sides congruent? Are all 4 sides congruent? No. The opposite sides are, but not all 4. So we're going to go on over here. Do all 4 angles measure 90 degrees? Do they? They look like it, but it doesn't show you for sure that they measure 90 degrees. So you'd have to answer no, and our answer would be that this is a parallelogram, and that's the best answer we can give. Okay, so I'll give you a copy of this chart. However, I do prefer this chart. And this chart is really good for always, sometimes, and nevers, and this is the one that they will pick and use. Oh, well, they'll use the always, sometimes, never questions on the MCAS. They love these questions. I can't stand them, but we got to teach them because you're going to have them. All right, so let's look at this. And let me just give you, for instance, always, sometimes, never. Is a rectangle always, sometimes, or never a parallelogram? So here's our rectangle. Okay. Is a rectangle a parallelogram? And the answer is always. A rectangle is anything, you can be named by anything above it. So a rectangle is a parallelogram, which is a quadrilateral. Okay, so let's look at the isosceles trapezoid. So an isosceles trapezoid is a regular trapezoid, which is a quadrilateral. Do you get the idea? Okay, so let's, so a rectangle is always a parallelogram. All right, is a rectangle always, sometimes, or never a square? Here's our rectangle. Can it be a square? Sure, it could, but is it always? No. So our answer is sometimes. A rectangle is sometimes a square. So if we're going down, if we're headed down this track, it's sometimes. If we're going up this track, it's an always. All right, let's do one more. Is a trapezoid always, sometimes, or never a rhombus? No. No, 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 no. A trapezoid is never a rhombus, okay? You can't jump and skip across here, all right? So from one path to the other path, that's a never, okay? So quick review, going down, sometimes, going up, always, jumping across, not allowed, never, okay? Okay, so now we're getting to the part where, sorry about this, where you are going to fill in your foldable flowchart. Foldable, there we go, in your foldable. So here we have the parallelogram. I'm going to give you information to put into the bullets. I'm going to give you information into the parallelogram. Now keep in mind, your bullets, you need to divide them up and put them underneath the angle, the sides, or the diagonal category that we made on your foldables, okay? So here we go. The first one, opposite sides are congruent. So put your markings on your shape and write in the opposite sides are congruent under sides. The next one, opposite sides are parallel. So you're going to put those arrows up there. You're going to put 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top, and at least 1 and 1 on the left and the right. Yeah, you can have them vice versa. Make sure you put this under sides on your foldable. The next one, opposite angles are congruent. I've color-coded this one. So you've got blue angles are congruent to the blue ones. The green ones are congruent to the blue. The green ones are congruent to the green ones. There we go. And we have consecutive angles. Remember, those are the angles side by side. So like a blue and a green are supplementary. So they're going to add together, give you 180 degrees. So again, this is angles, so this goes under angles, as well as the one above it went under angles. And the last one today is diagonals. Diagonals bisect each other, okay? So when the diagonals come in here, they split each other in half. So if this longer one was 20, then each piece would be 10. If this one here was 16, each piece would be 10. What did I just say? If the whole thing was 16, then this would be 8, and this would be 8. Oh, geez. Okay, so have a good day, and I will see you in class tomorrow. Thanks for visiting the Leisure Math channel. See you tomorrow. Bye.